and I wrote a book which I called Healing with Food. It's now also published in Marathi. It's a English version, it's published in Marathi now. And so what this book really says is that if you really want to be healthy, you have to learn to look beyond calories. Because people look at food primarily from the caloric viewpoint. How many calories, how much fat, that's it. So that's a very superficial way of looking at food. If you really want to take the health benefits from food, you need to look at the benefits that it offers. Okay? Now what I'm saying today is not very different from what Hippocrates said almost 2,500 years ago. He said, let food be thy medicine. So food can prove to be your medicine, or it can prove to be a slow poison. It can ruin your health, or it can give you good health. But when he said this, I'm sure he was not aware of all the cookery shows that are happening today, all the gourmet cookery show, right, and the kind of stuff they put in those shows. I get horrified when I watch that this is what can be put to make things tasty. What he meant was that when you eat the right food at the right time, in the right ratio, your body becomes a lean, mean, disease-fighting machine. So let's get a little bit into the science of food. Food can be looked at, like I said, differently. If you really want to take the health benefits of food, you have to see the effect of the food on the human body. For instance, very simply, we all know that there are some foods which have a cooling effect without looking at the caloric count. Okay? So things like watermelon, buttermilk, cucumber, all this has a very cooling effect on the body. So how do we use this? This can be used to reduce heat signs in an individual. Now what are heat signs? People with excessive hunger, excessive anger, excessive perspiration, excessive energy, loud voice, strong-natured, very masculine, women or men, but masculine. These people have heat signs. They perspire a lot. They don't tolerate summers well. They are very comfortable in the winters. These are people with heat signs. Usually they have a flushed face, bright face, eyes are slightly reddish, tongue is slightly reddish. Okay? They need to be occupied all the time. They need to be typically the type A personality. Okay? So you can reduce heat signs, because too much of that is not good. It causes inflammation. Inflammation causes all diseases. The root cause of all lifestyle diseases today is inflammation. So these foods, the answer is so simple. These foods can reduce inflammation, can reduce heat signs in an individual. Similarly, you have foods with a heaty effect, like garam masala, like non-vegetarian food, like mutton curry. All this has a heaty effect. So this can be used to reduce cold signs in an individual. Now what are cold signs? Someone who gets loose motions, feels cold often, stomach upsets, gas, bloat, very worried kind of a person, very anxious. As they grow older, they get body ache, bone pain, arthritis. Okay, this is cold prakriti. So when they eat such food, it can infuse life in such an individual and rebalance their bodies. Then you have foods with a stimulating effect. They infuse life in an individual who's very lazy, lethargic, who has a lot of late nights, greasy food, gets up late, doesn't want to go to work. Okay? His day starts late, night ends late. He or she is probably very energized at some point in the day, not necessarily in the morning, maybe later in the evening, a lot of energy they get. But that's artificial energy by pumping a lot of either stimulants or tobacco or smoking or whatever else. So raw foods come under the category of being able to stimulate a person with such signs. Okay? So that is wheatgrass juice, raw sprouts. Coffee is also a stimulant. In moderate quantities considered good. Excess is never good. Fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. So this is the effect they have on people. Then you have some foods with a sedating effect. All of you know that if you eat rice, you feel sleepy, right? You eat pasta, it has a similar effect. Or rice, kheer, potatoes. So this can be used to your advantage. Again, every food can be used to your advantage to lull a person to sleep. If you're not getting sleep, you have a dinner of dal-chawal, maybe you'll feel sleepy. With potatoes, it can be put to sleep. It can help a person to increase in weight, because there are a lot of very thin individuals who don't seem to gain weight easily. So these kind of foods calm them. These are calming foods. They calm them down, help them to sleep better, and when you sleep better, you also gain weight better. But it doesn't apply, don't worry, even if you're sleeping well, you won't gain weight. It doesn't apply that way. Okay, so this is how it is. So we have a healthcare system in our country that treats disease. We have hospitals, we have nursing homes. But what we do need is a system that prevents disease. Because, as you know, prevention is better than cure. It is also more economical than cure. Recently, I was listening to a lecture by a neurosurgeon, and he said something so fantastic. He's saying, I charge crores of rupees to patients to do this neurosurgery. And the answer, this was the Nutrition Society of India. I was attending a lecture on behalf of them. So he said, the answer is in the kitchen. It's so simple. Why do you want to spend so much of money and come to me? When you guys, these are all nutritionist sittings, and when you guys have the answer with you, and you can tell others, because the kitchen, everyone knows how to use foods in the kitchen. So answers are really simple. So he told us how to avoid Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's, you spend so much of money, there's so much of discomfort. Anyone, I don't know if you have anyone in your family with Alzheimer's, it is very, very difficult to manage such patients. So the answers are really there in your kitchen. So let's understand what goes wrong with the body and how we can correct it.